Margarita here from the Conscious Wealth Institute, and today I want to do some emotional freedom technique with you, EFT, on the fear of lack of money. So many people get caught up in this fear of lack of money when in actual fact there is no lack of money. There is an abundance out there everywhere, but that's not what we're conditioned to believe. We're conditioned by our environment from a very early age. As small children, we are sponges. We don't make decisions about the information that is coming toward us. We just suck it in and file it away. So if there were arguments in your household around money, if there was always a lack of money and there was never quite enough, if there was any anxiety or fear around money in your environment, in your household, then this is what you will associate with money. You will associate pain and suffering with money because they were the emotions that you were exposed to around the subject of money. You may have also heard things like money doesn't grow on trees. How do you think I'm going to pay for that? I don't have enough money. There are dozens of different things our parents say to us because that's all they knew. And they didn't realize that while they were saying that stuff to us, we were being conditioned that there's never enough and money is scarce and I can't have what I want. So what we're going to do today is work on a fear of lack of money, because if that is an underlying issue for you, then it is going to just come through in all of your interactions with money. It is key to you getting through and achieving the wealth and success that you want in your life. So the first thing that I want you to do is think about your fear of lack of money. Rate it on a scale of 0 to 10. So think about your money situation right now. Maybe you can think about the way you've interacted with money throughout your life, or you can even go back and think about what it was like in your household around money and just experience your emotions around that. And then rate that fear on a scale of 0 to 10. So you can say the statement, I'm afraid that there's never enough money. And how true is that for you? 10 being the most true it could possibly be, 0 being that it's not true for you at all. Okay, let's start by tapping on the karate chop point. Even though I have this fear that there's never enough money, I deeply and completely love and accept all of me. Even though I am always afraid that there's never going to be enough money, I choose to love and accept who I am and how I feel. Even though in all my life there was never enough money, and I have been living that all my life, I choose to love and accept who I am and how I feel right now. Okay, tapping through the points. I have this fear of lack of money. There's just never enough. I've lived this all my life. Never enough to cover my expenses. Certainly never enough to do what I want. And I have this underlying fear that there's never enough money. I'm afraid that when I need it, it won't be there. I'm afraid that something really expensive will happen and I won't have the money to cover it. Every time I think of money, I feel lack. Whenever I think of money, I just feel that there's never enough. I have this deep conditioning that goes to the very core of my being, that there's never enough money. And then whenever I think of money, I have this fear of lack and this fear that there's never enough. Okay, take a breath and release it. Okay, now go back and write that statement. I'm afraid that there's never enough money. And it will have shifted. Hopefully it will have come down a little bit. What you want to do is, so long as it's shifting, even if it's gone up a little bit because you've started focusing on it, that's okay, it's shifted. Just keep tapping, keep tapping, keep tapping until you bring it down to around about a 2. Now that phrase that I used in there, that it's in your cells, it's in your memory. You could use a phrase about it being in the very depths and core of your being, because it could be deeply embedded in your psyche. So tap using phrases like that until you bring that down to a 2 or below. Now we're going to do a positive tapping round. So when you've gotten that right down, then do this positive tapping round to help to instill some new belief systems that will counteract the old ones and fill the place of where the old ones used to be. So again, karate chop point. Even though I still have a fear of lack of money, I choose to see the abundance everywhere in my life. And know that when I'm in flow, there is plenty of money for me and everybody else. Even though I've lived a reality of lack of money, I choose to have a new belief system that there is abundance everywhere flowing into my life, and financial freedom is mine. Even though I've had this deep conditioning, in the very depths of my being, I've believed there's never enough money. I choose to know it's just conditioning. And it's not true. And in fact, there is an abundance of money everywhere. Okay, tapping through the points. I have this fear that there's never enough money. But I choose to let that go now. I choose to see an abundance of wealth everywhere in my life. And I live a life of abundance and financial freedom. I choose to be open to financial abundance. I see it everywhere in my life. And money flows into my life easily and effortlessly. I choose to step into the flow of money and see that there is abundance for me everywhere. And all I have to do is let it in. I choose to allow the abundance in. I choose to let go of all my fears and conditioning that have held me back from abundance. I love knowing there's plenty of me, plenty for me and plenty for everyone. I love that feeling of being in the flow of abundance of money. I love knowing that there is more than enough money for me and for everybody, and experiencing it flowing into my life easily and effortlessly. Okay, take a breath and release it. How good does that feel? Go back and rate that statement. I'm afraid that there's never enough money. 0 to 10. What you want to do is keep doing this until it comes down to a 0. Now there may be things that happen that maybe bring that fear back a little bit for you over the next few days, a week, couple of weeks. What you need to do is keep tuning in each day and see if that fear has come back a little bit. Then maybe there's another aspect that you need to work with to bring that conditioning down, because the truth is, whatever is holding you back, it really is just conditioning. If there's not enough money in your life, it's just a belief system or a fear or something that is preventing you from stepping into the flow. Now, EFT is quick. Emotional freedom technique can be very quick, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen overnight. You need to be consistent with this. You need to be committed to doing this on a very regular basis. So thank you for being with me today. I do hope that you have enjoyed this emotional freedom technique tapping experience. I look forward to seeing you in my next videos. Take care and bye for now.